Wait, was that the Star
That's
Wars Cantina music?
yeah. I couldn't I couldn't remember what ours sounded like.
That's, I
It's
was
the
like, wait, I
same.
recognize that.
It's the same idea. Welcome to CB's podcast. I'm Steven, and with me, as always, is Ralph.
Hello.
We are a creative would you say we're a creative podcast? What would you? Well, yeah, not tonight. Tonight, it's gonna be a really depressing podcast. But
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I would say most of the stuff we talk about is creative related.
Yeah, I'd say it's a casual podcast,
casual creative,
where we talk about creative process and how to make things and how we're learning to make things.
Yep,
that sums it up. So today we're going to talk about inspiration and things that inspire you, things that inspire us, what inspired us to start creating. All kinds of inspirational quotes for you, I'm sure we'll have some of those that you can just jot down, tattoo on your back. I don't know. Let's just stick with that.
All kinds of places you could tattoo it on.
Places like, yeah, just inspiration, kind of where to find inspiration if you're having a hard time finding something to work on. I haven't had that issue, so it'll be interesting to kind of break that down a bit. I feel like I always have too many ideas that I'm like all these things that I want to make and do. But I mean, there's something to think about too, about like, I want to make something, but I don't know what to make. So I guess that's a path we can talk about as well. But first, we don't just jump into subject matter. You gotta earn it. You gotta sit with us as we
gotta sit through the 3 ad reads first.
3
and then
4 today.
Oh
yeah,
forgot we added one.
Yeah. I can't think of a pretend advertisement right now.
Gamer Fuel.
Gamer Fuel. G Fuel.
Yeah, G Fuel. Yeah.
And yep, that's it. Okay. So anyway, Ralph, how you been? What have you been up to since the last 2 weeks?
Well, we were talking about it a little bit beforehand, but work is very busy right now.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff going on. We have some big pitches for some of our important clients, and I'm heavily involved in that process. So it's just been a lot on my plate. Also, we're heading into a new quarter, and so there's a lot of stuff that has to go on for that too. It's just been.
Can you remind the viewers and our listeners like what your role is?
Technically, my role title is art director. What that essentially means in practicality is I'm like
do your work and everyone else's work.
Can feel that way. No, it's like you're I feel like a quality controller most of the time, because like all of the team's work design wise has to go through me or the other guy. So like the way the team structure is, it's myself and one other guy who leads the team. We're the directors. He's the creative director. I'm the art director. Those sound very similar, but he handles he's my manager, so he's a little bit higher up the chain than me, and he deals with some of the broader stuff, and he's more client facing.
Okay.
Whereas, I deal more internally with the team, hands-on, making sure that the stuff that needs to happen happens, and providing direction where needed on a more granular level. So that's kind of how the structure goes there. So yeah, it's just been a heavy round for the past little while, and so that's kind of what I've been into.
Does your work, is it more Is it busy because you have a lot of different clients, or is there usually a lot of work for a few clients, or does it kind of just change?
Um, we have a lot of clients, actually. Yeah, we
Okay.
we handle a lot of clients. And I have my hands in kind of all of it because I have to oversee it all. But on the team level, so like below, like our team that we direct, they all kind of have their own dedicated clients. That's kind of how we break it
Hmm.
down because
Okay.
it seems like that's a smoother way to handle that because if everybody just jumped around and grabbed whatever came through for our team's clients, things can get a little less focused.
You got to
That is
learn
how
like
it
all
used
the
to work.
brand guidelines for each different company and brand you're working with, and
Yep, all the
yeah,
things you got to remember, all the little nuances because we deal with like offer type stuff a lot, and so there's legal things that go into that too, and each state has its own thing, each region has its own thing, each brand
sure.
has its own thing. So, yeah, it can get interesting. But so it used to be a kind of free for all. Whoever's open grabs whatever, but now
Yeah.
it's like each person is responsible for their set of clients
Okay.
primarily, and only if they need like help or they're kind of underwater, do other people kind of jump in and help out where needed.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's been that's kind of there's something about my job. Have we even talked about job
I
stuff
don't think
before?
so. No.
Yeah, that's kind of a high level view. Plus, the my favorite part of my job, which is diving into Excel spreadsheets and
Ooh, so fun.
reports and hours and making sure that everything is super organized
Yeah,
and
the creative parts of your job.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
the fun the fun
that's
things.
super fun. Yeah.
Uh, I mean, since I don't know why we're talking about jobs now. That's but I don't know if we've talked about them before. I'm
Not really.
I don't I don't like my job title. My job title is UI/UX designer, which is kind of like there's things in the industry that people are like, "Oh, you can't do everything. You should specialize. Shouldn't be a UI/UX designer. You just need to be a UX designer or a UI artist or whatever."
Oh, I see.
Um, which I feel like just UX designer kind of should entail some like the UI. I don't know. I feel like they're not
Well,
they
they're
shouldn't really be separate. They're
related
kind of
to one another.
I think they're too related unless you're like highly specialized at a big company. Anyway, I do user experience design um for a enterprise tool for stuff. Um it's a lot of tables of information and showing different types of information in different tables. So there's other things too, but it's so much of what we're working on is just like tables, and it's just yeah. Uh, it's not super exciting, but there are some fun parts of it every once in a while, and I like the design side anyway. I'm like the lead designer on our program, and so I'm also the only designer from my company. I'm lead and junior and whatever else because it doesn't matter. I just do all the design work for
Nice
adding new
setup.
features, updating stuff, whatever.
That's cool.
I don't know why we jumped into job stuff, but I
Just
asked I asked
because
what
what
you've
I've
been up
been
to.
doing and all I've
Yeah,
been doing is work.
yeah.
Although I did wake up this morning and it was strange because yesterday, was it yesterday? We've been in the high like 60s,
Well, yeah,
70s a little bit.
it's been nice here
It's
too.
felt like spring. And then this morning we woke up and it was like pouring the snow. So
I was about to ask, like, oh, does that being spring like give you hope and like feels like spring is here, new life, but not
Nope,
not with the snow.
not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, we
We
had like
are ready. My wife and I have talked a lot about we're excited for things to warm up again so that we can like spend time out on our porch and
yeah.
we love doing that. That's one of our favorite things. We'd love to go out to the porch. We have this back deck basically.
Hmm.
The porch, we have a porch too on the front, but it's smaller and
Yeah.
we I like it there too, but the back deck is where it's at because it's covered
Oh,
and
nice.
it's bigger and is you know, it's just nicer. I just like it back there better. So,
Yeah.
um,
I work from home most days, and when it's like nice weather, we have a deck on the back of our house too, and I was like put the umbrella up on the at the table and just like work out there. We got like some nice pine trees and stuff. It's just nice to be outside, fresh air, as opposed
yes.
to my dungeon in the basement here.
Although the next time, yeah, I'm in the dungeon too. As if you're watching, you can see we're both kind of in dungeons.
Yeah,
But
pretty cool dungeons, but you know,
yeah, not bad, not bad.
not
Mine's
much
still.
daylight.
I've left mine in a sustainable state,
Hmm.
and I've been too lazy to like finish it off. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good enough, and so I just like I haven't gone back because I've said for probably over a year now, need to get some posters up in here, and I just never have.
It's like what we talked about last podcast, finishing projects.
But yeah, finish your projects right, or just hire someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you only see the nice part of my office here. Like the other, it's a small room that I have, but like that was all like I've got like another desk over there that's just like books and papers and empty boxes and keyboard parts and a blanket on the floor and like it's just like it's out of frame. It doesn't exist. So
I actually that reminds me. I did do one thing over the weekend, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
it was over the weekend. I think it was on Sunday. I have had I have this big setup in front of me. It's like a bunch of like I have some lights. I have uh 3 monitors. Well, one is a laptop, but like
Okay.
I have 2 monitors that extend from that. I have my camera, all this stuff. All this stuff takes I have my mic. We have cords everywhere, right? And for a long time, I didn't have any form of like cord management, so it's just all
Man.
kind of like back behind the desk, and it just never felt very good. So
Yeah.
this weekend, I actually did
Dude.
get my cords in order, and they're off the floor, and everything's like in a thing that I bought, and like
Man.
I've directed a few. It's still not perfect. It could use work. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's so much better.
I feel like if you don't do the cable management when you first install something, it like doesn't happen.
Yeah,
So
really.
kudos to you for going back like years later to actually do that. Like I think mine's pretty good. I did mine when I built my desk and set up my home office. I'm like, I know I'm not going to want to do this another time. So I installed a bunch of like cable trays and things like underneath my desk. So now when I add something new, it's like one cable, and I'm like, okay, it just slots in there, and we're good to go. There are still a few random cables along the ground that like are running across like the whole like length of my room. I've got like my record player behind me is connected to speakers at my desk, and so it actually that runs around there. So anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like I've done a lot since our last podcast episode. I feel like I've been so busy. I went to LA for work. And I get flight anxiety, and it's just gotten worse. Like I have this like I take like what?
I was gonna say, is it because of flying, or is it because of the timing, schedule, planning, etc.?
I don't know. I get stressed out about like traveling and getting ready for trips and stuff too. But
you're not actually afraid of like flight.
No, I'm not. I'm not afraid of it. There's nothing logical about it. It's like an internal bodily reaction to like turbulence. I think it's because one time there was like crazy bad turbulence, and I had like some motion sickness prior to getting on the plane, and I like threw up on one flight actually. And since then, I thought it was due to motion sickness, so I took like Dramamine for a bit. Is like a motion sickness thing, and then that wasn't really helping. So I started taking these or using these like patches that go like on the back of like behind your ear called scopolamine, and it's like specifically for like I think it's specifically for like motion sickness and stuff. But those haven't been working either. Like what it is, like any bit of turbulence, just like I start like getting clammy and like breaking out in like a cold sweat, and just like have to like take deep breaths, like almost kind of like almost like a panic attack kind of thing. where it's like literally I have no control over it. It's weird, but I feel like it's just gotten worse. And this flight we flew from Colorado Springs to Denver and then to LA. And that little jump between Colorado Springs and Denver, it's like you're in the air for like 20 minutes. It's kind of dumb. But because it's such a short thing, they stay lower. And there's so much winds coming off of the mountains that like I think Colorado Springs and Denver are it's not the worst, but it's some of the worst places for like wind and turbulence and stuff as you're landing. And so just that little jump just like I felt awful. Anyway, then LA was fine. Like once I'm there, I'm fine. Even driving around, anything else, like it's nothing about traveling or being somewhere else. It's literally just being in a plane and something with that. But
So so it is. You don't like flying.
I hate flying because of this, and like, yeah, which is unfortunate because all of our family lives kind of far away, and I still do it. But especially when you're traveling with kids, there's like other levels of stress, and when I'm like, I can't help with them at all because I just can't function right now. Makes it
sounds like you need something a little more punch.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to my doctor. I think I might actually get like some anti-anxiety meds, like to specifically like Xanax or something to like just use when I fly. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, when I've flown, I haven't had any issues. I don't think. I haven't flown in a long time though, honestly. So I don't know how I would feel about it now. Actually, I'd probably feel worse about it now because from what I understand, the talent in the pilot industry has gone downhill just like everywhere else. So, So I'm like, how vetted are your pilots? Exactly.
Well, my last job, like less than a year, like that I switched over from less than a year ago, I was traveling at least like once a quarter. And so I was flying in and out of Chicago, which is very unfortunate that I was traveling that. It's not even like that often, but enough to be
that's plenty often. Yeah. 4 times a year for work.
Yeah. Anyway, so I had this trip and then got back. I got home at like 2:30 Thursday afternoon and then left my house with my family at 3:15 to go pick up my daughter from school and then go straight to the Great Wolf Lodge indoor water park hotel thing to celebrate my son's birthday. I was home for less than an hour and we went straight there. And then I was going down water slides that evening and it was nuts. Like, it was super fun. He had a great time. Like once I got there, I felt a little better too, which was good. But it's like a place where it's like a hotel. It's like a hotel with lots of kids attractions. Do you know what it is? Great Wolf Lodge? No? Okay.
I mean, I know what a hotel is and I know what a water park is.
You know what a hotel is? You've heard of those?
Yeah, I know what they are.
But it's more than that. It's like a theme park all stuffed into a hotel. It's like going to Disneyland, but wolf themed. Because like you've got a whole section that's all hotel rooms. You have like a restaurant and bar. You have like another restaurant in the same building. There's like event and conference rooms down in another area. There's a Build-A-Bear inside this place. There's an ice cream shop, a candy shop, a whole indoor mini golf course, an entire indoor arcade, and then the water park. So, but there's all these different packages to like do all this stuff. But if you stay at the hotel, if you like get a room for the night, you can do the water park the entire day leading up to it and the entire day you check out. So if you're there multiple days, you could every day that you're there, you could be there the whole day.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, we ended up not staying the night because I'm like, I just wanted to sleep in my own bed because I literally just got back from a trip. So we did that whole evening, and then we ended up going back the next morning for more water park fun. And overall, it actually was pretty fun. It was just ridiculously loud with a number of screaming children everywhere because it's an indoor water park.
What did you guys do?
Played with our kids in the water park, like.
So yeah, I guess that makes sense.
They have like massive water slides, like drop ones, the ones with like 4 people in a tube at one time going down these like spirally like water slide things. think of like, the water park at like Cedar Point. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day. So like some of those water slides, they had like that extent of water slides attached to this like indoor water park.
That's cool. The only thing I can ever think of with water parks is have you ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philly?
I've seen some of it.
There's an episode where they go to the water park,
Okay.
and it is very funny. I mean, I'm not going to explain the episode. Basically, they go to the water park, and it turns into a nightmare because of them, but also because the water park they go to is in Philly, and it's dirty and gross, and
jeez.
it's like all these like weird people are around. It's very funny. That's what I think. But I imagine your trip was nothing like that because this one sounds.
No, it's a pretty clean place and
That's good.
things. Anyway, yeah, so we did that stuff, and then my wife's birthday was yesterday, and so
Really?
yeah, so we
Did you
celebrated her.
celebrate? Yeah.
No, we don't celebrate. We
Well,
just said
Some people don't celebrate on the day, you know? Who wants to celebrate their birthday on a Wednesday?
we did most of like that. Like last Saturday, she went out and did like a day where she like met a friend for coffee and like paste in like this French bakery, and then she went and got a massage, and I took the kids to a birthday party. So
Okay. Did someone else's birthday party?
like another friend's like
What?
1-year-old kid, and so like I took our kids over there, and so then we're playing in someone else's house. Anyway, it's just I've been super busy, like I said.
Clearly.
But her actual birthday, was yesterday, and I made these awesome like breakfast sandwiches. It was like a brioche bun, sriracha aioli, fried egg,
I like
bacon,
sriracha.
arugula. Usually I would make these with like caramelized onions too, but I forgot, and then we ran out of time because it's a Wednesday and in school and work and everything.
Yeah.
It was good. This was a fun day. But
Sounds cool.
and then today I picked someone up from the Denver airport, which was an 1.5-hour drive for me. Some of our friends went to Disney for 10 days with 15 people of their family, and 5 of those were kids under 3 years old. This is Trevor. Oh, this is Trevor. You know Trevor.
Oh, it's Trevor. Okay.
Yeah. So Trevor and his whole family, like siblings and Trevor, his wife, his kids, his siblings and their kids, and his parents, all went to Disney for like 10 days.
Disneyland?
Disney World in Orlando, which is like a 4-hour flight from Colorado.
Okay, wait. So that must be something that I was when I was growing up. It was always there was 2. There was Disney World in Florida, and then there was Disneyland in wherever that is.
California. Yeah.
Oh yeah, California.
Yeah, so they went to Disney World in Florida. Anyway, they didn't. I don't know why. Trevor, if you're listening, I don't know why you didn't just park your car. But I went to his house, got his car, drove it to Denver, picked up him and his wife and his 2 kids, and put their car seats back in, and then we
parked his car at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they got to the airport. If their car, I don't know. Anyway, I did that. So
leave a comment.
I was on the yeah. Trevor, leave a comment. Only you though. Man, this is a lot of anecdotes. I'm done. That's it. That's all my.
No, that's fine.
Personal anecdotes.
Didn't somebody say that listening to the podcast was kind of like a comfort or like a cozy or something? Because
just cozy, because just hanging out.
This one is definitely chill because we've both had such insane. We need a chilled out episode because it's been crazy.
Did you do anything fun or like watch? Okay, our show media update. That's what this segment's called now.
Yeah. Yes, I have 2 updates.
Okay.
One, we finished season 4 of The Bear, which is the last episode. Oh, you
went through
aired.
it. Okay.
Yeah, we finished it. There will be, I think there will be a season 5, but I'm gonna be honest, I'd probably rather pass a kidney stone than watch season 5 of, like, put myself through another episode, another season of that show. It just got so bad, man. And I know that this is not a popular opinion, so for whoever's listening, whatever. If you like it, okay, great. But I really hated what they did with the show. They totally character assassinated Carmy. He's like such a wimpy, pathetic constantly apologizing, not assertive, stuttering mess by season 4. And then and then they hyper inflate the Sydney character, who is obviously a self-insert from the writers, who it's just so insufferable to watch. And the whole thing also becomes just a melodrama, where season 1 was like things were happening, they were cooking, they were dealing with these problems, like they had to do things in the episode throughout each episode, like things were happening. All that happens by the end of season 4 is just people are sitting around talking, or like super close up of a character like trying to win an Oscar, but there's no chance they're going to. And it's just awful. It's just like torture to sit there and watch. I really hated.
So it loses like that fast paced, like boom, boom,
totally
boom.
Gone. You watch season 1, take a random episode in season 1, and then you take an episode later on. It feels like two completely different shows. I don't know what happened. I really don't. But anyways,
were there any upsides, or any episodes that you're like, oh, that one was pretty good, or is it kind of a steady decline, or just kind of?
It was a pretty sharp drop off. There was like season 2. I think I mentioned this, but season 2, like 4 episodes of season 2, you could just totally skip. But then there's this one episode where they're all having like a family gathering for Christmas.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
It's like this big dinner thing, and it's a great episode. Really, really good character development, and you learn a lot of stuff. And honestly, season 2 kind of stays pretty good.
Okay.
Through the rest of season 2, so like I would say season 2 is probably still worth watching. But then season 3 and 4, I would give it a hard pass. Like, don't even bother. It doesn't like, don't even bother.
Okay. All right, so what's your second?
So the second
thing.
So we started watching this new show, brand new show. Went out on a limb because I saw a few promotional ads for it, and it looked really weird. And I was like, this looks just weird enough to be good. This might be good. And so we started watching it. We're not very far. It's like we just started watching it, but it's called The Beauty.
Yeah. I've seen some ads for that.
And I can't speak for the whole thing because I've seen so many things drop off in quality, but like as far as what we've seen so far, really good, really entertaining. Like
the only ad I remember is some woman like convulsing and then attacking someone.
Yes, it's very strange, but the thing that I like about the show is it moves and it just jumps from one thing to the next, and just it doesn't waste your time. It is well written, and the characters are likable. Like the two leads, very like Evan Peters. I don't know if you know who he is, but
the name sounds familiar.
He plays in he was Dahmer in the Dahmer show.
I never watched that.
Which is it's pretty good. I watched it here and there while I was in the room with my wife who was watching it.
Okay.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but there were good scenes. There were definitely good things in that show. But anyways, whatever. He's the guy. And then the girl, I don't remember what her name is, but she is one of those actresses that you recognize but never know what her name is. So, but I do recognize her.
Yeah.
But they're very likable, and their chemistry is very good, and their dynamic is interesting.
Okay.
And they're definitely a highlight of the show, which is great, because usually show leads, there's a weak point somewhere. Not so far, not here.
Okay.
And the show's just very intriguing, and it's very bonkers. Like, it's off the wall, surreal, crazy. But I've been enjoying it. So if you're into weirder, kind of slightly horror coded stuff, I would not call this a horror, but I'm just saying, like, it's darker. Like, it has
what's
darker
like the
elements.
general genre? Is it like drama-esque? Is it like mystery?
Drama,
like
intrigue, absurdism, weirdness. But it works. It really does work. It's very entertaining. By the way, for anyone who is wondering, because I know what it sounds like, I know that it sounds like I can't handle like
You don't have an
slow-paced
attention span.
stuff. It sounds like I'm a Spurg who can't handle slow stuff.
Yeah.
I love slow-paced stuff if it's done well. I really do. I I'm trying to think of one. All I can think of is Schenectady, New York, or Synecdoche, New York, which is a very slow, very
I don't know that
long,
one.
very drawn out Charlie Kaufman movie, and it's great, obviously. Philip Seymour Hoffman is the lead. Anyways, I'm just saying,
Okay.
I can appreciate slow stuff,
Just not when it's wasting your time.
just not when it's wasting my time
Yeah.
and if it's poorly done,
Sure.
and it's not earned.
Yeah.
So it has to be leading to something, you know.
All right. Well, I've got 2 things. Do I have 1 thing? 2 things. I've got a new side quest that I've been doing, and 1 more and a game that I've been playing. So when I was traveling, I brought my Switch with me, my old Nintendo Switch, and I got an indie game called Eastward on there, which I've played some on Steam prior to this, but I bought it again because I wanted it on my Switch to like play handheld and travel with. And I beat it in the last. I played the entire.
Dang, you actually beat it.
I played the entire game
Nice.
over a week and a half, and like beat it a couple days ago after. I was already back from my trip, but I think I put like 20 hours into the game while I was traveling. That's like 4 hours, 3 or 4 hours of flying, and then a lot of evenings in my hotel room because I was too tired to go out with people because I didn't want to socialize anymore. And I played a lot, and it was so good. Like I had played at least like I think I played like half of the game.
I think
First,
that's what I did.
yeah, the first time I played. And this time I just like kept and like so we talked about this before about the issue of like the achievements in there. We have a problem of like
Man.
wanting to get all the achievements, and in this game there's so many missable things, and
Same.
so I had actually back here. Let me grab this real quick. I have this book.
Okay.
Essentially, it's a design documentary in book form by this company called DesignWorks. Or the company's called Lost in Cult, and they've done. I sent you that Tunic one a while ago, which that one comes later this year.
Yeah.
But it's essentially just like design documentary in book form, like a publication showing concept art and like the process and like all the struggles they had getting it public, getting the game out there and all these things. And it's just super interesting. And I love that kind of stuff. And so I read through all that before my trip, and then I'm like, man, I always loved like the visuals of this game and like the vibe of it. And so after reading this and before my trip, I'm like, I'm going to play through this game, but I'm not going to focus on achievements. I'm just going to play it for the story and the world to experience it.
Yep.
And man, it was it was a way better time.
Yes, I know.
I still, at some point through there, I knew about some of the achievements. So I still like did some of the things to make sure I got like all of the recipes and all of the food ingredients, but not like searching for a guide. I'm just like, I kind of know where you would find them. So I just kept going there. And so I beat the game. I didn't 100% it yet, but they did add like, since it first came out, they added like a chapter select. So you can actually go back and like get the things you missed, and it counts towards your overall progress. So it is possible if you miss stuff to go back and get it.
I was going to say, from what I remember, was that patched in? Because from what I remember is the problem was you couldn't backtrack. You would progress past a certain point, and then they hard lock you in, like you're locked out of going backwards.
So that's
after
still
certain triggers.
That's still the case, and it's still a little bit annoying. And there's no indication of like, hey, once you do this, warning. You can't. Yeah, you just like, oh, I'm gonna go this way, and then it activates a cutscene, and you're like, I wanted to explore everywhere, and I just chose a direction, and now I can't go anywhere else because it hit this cutscene and this hard lock. So what they added was once you beat the game, they added a chapter select that you can kind of.
That's nice.
Go to
that would make it way easier.
Yeah, you can go to any chapter with your current progress to that chapter.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna go 100% it. I almost I've got a few more things to do, but they actually had a DLC that adds like a whole farming sim to this like end of the
Oh
game,
man.
and apparently it's great. And it's just like it's not like the same kind of adventure from the first part of the game, but it's just like a cozy addition to the game, and I'm excited to try that too. But and then my side quest, my new like personal project that I started working on, was as a result of this. I was like, man, I really wish I had some cool posters of like some cool artwork of like my favorite indie games and like favorite games. And so I started designing those yesterday. I just sent you a couple of them for Eastward and Tunic. And I finished those two. So, and I'm working on a couple more.
Which one did you land on for Tunic?
Ooh, a different one than I sent you. Gray background with the runes as the backdrop.
That was the best one.
Yeah, which was funny because that's the first thing I tried before any of the other options. But then I'm like, oh, maybe I should add in. It didn't look good when I had it, how I had it the first time, but I like zoomed it out and made it kind of, it's better how it is now. And essentially what these designs are, they're like ultra wide posters. Cause I'm like, every poster is vertical. Every poster is like the same format. I'm like, I want some like unique, cool prints.
That is a cool idea, the wide ones.
I hope so. I'll have to see how it turns out. I don't know how I can frame those. I might have to like make custom frames, cause it's like a weird size.
Yeah, those I don't think are standard, but you can custom is totally possible, and they don't have to be that expensive. I used to work in a frame shop.
Oh,
just it's all depends on the type of frame you get. If you get a reasonable, I mean, it's going to be more expensive than a standard size, of course, but
yeah.
I mean, if it's going to be hanging in your office for the rest of your time there, I mean, then it wouldn't hurt to pay an extra $15 or whatever.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
I guess.
I just want some simple black frame for them.
Yeah, shouldn't be bad.
Yeah, but they're all ultra wide. Currently, the ones I've designed, it has like the logo of the game in the top left, the main character in the bottom right, a little like watermark of the developer who made the game in the top right, and then like some pictures of achievements in the bottom left of like either my favorite achievements or like some of the hardest ones to get. Ones that I have gotten is generally the rule of thumb there, and then some kind of background element to like give it texture. And I think it's really fun. I've toyed around with like some of them I might flip like horizontally and do like so that way if I stack them on my wall, it's like logo in the top left on one, logo in the top right on another.
Oh, okay.
I don't know yet, so it's easy enough to move those things around, but. That's one of my fun side project I did yesterday, and I've designed 2.5 posters and have the concepts for a couple more. But I think they're turning out pretty sick. Oh, and I also did the gray background for Tunic too. So gray background with like the red logo. And I chose a different fox than than any of the ones I sent you.
Okay.
I'll have to see what you think about that one. It's from like the user manual in the game, and it's like the dodge animation. So it's like 3 foxes. So it's like start the roll, mid roll, finishing roll, like sword out. So I did 3 of them next to each other. I think it looks pretty cool. Anyway, that's been my fun side project. And those are some games you might say inspired me. Now that we're this far into the episode, we should probably at least somewhat talk about this
yeah, I guess we'll talk about the topic.
I guess we'll give you what you came here for.
Yeah.
Well, although if you only came here for topical information,
there's plenty of it this episode.
And that's true. There might be better sources. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, no, this is the best. Okay, yeah. So we the topic for the episode, the idea we wanted to kind of talk about a little bit, which is part of the creative process, was inspiration. I just told some of my inspiration from these games. I think a lot of my creative inspiration stems from games. Is probably like a core of things that inspire me. I played video games since like Sega Genesis. I was like 6 years old. I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog. I had like a Ninja Turtles game.
Was that your first console?
Yeah, I still have it. It's in my closet, just down the
Sega
down the hall.
Nice.
Sega.
Yeah, that's a classic sound bit.
Yeah,
I love that sound bit, honestly.
it's so
Like
good.
Soul.
Yeah, they don't make consoles like they used to.
Mine was the PlayStation 1,
Mm.
the original PlayStation. That one's a great one too.
Was that Time Splitters was PlayStation 2, right?
Yeah, Time Splitters was
Time Splitters
PlayStation 2.
2. Yeah,
Time Splitters 2 was what we played. I
that
never
was.
played 1 or Future Perfect, which
Mm.
people say is amazing, and I believe them. Maybe one day I'll revisit.
I always had a lot of fun playing Time Splitters too. That was so much fun.
Dude, it's so much fun. The virus mode, like arcade had a lot of fun you could
We did
have.
some crazy things in there. I just remember filling up a room with like mines one time or something,
Yeah.
and like blowing up all the bots. I don't
Yep.
know.
You can stick them on. They'll like stick onto the person, and
Yeah.
and you hold the trigger. You can blow them up when you want, but
my
and you
goodness.
can give yourself infinite mines. So yeah, you can just spam like 1,000 mines and then blow them
Yeah.
all up.
Sorry,
Yeah,
tangents again.
that's a
but-
great game.
It was super fun. Yeah. So I guess we'll start with talking about like things that like where my inspiration comes from, and then if you have a hard time finding inspiration, we'll see if we have time for that too. But the things that have inspired me to like create stuff or make art or any of the creative pursuits that I feel like I've done stem from like games. Not exclusively, like Lord of the Rings is probably like one of my favorite franchises too, and that's mainly from the movies. I think is what kind of is my inspiration there. I've read the books several times and everything too. I feel like the origin of my love of Lord of the Rings was from the movies though. But like, yeah, I don't know, just like visual storytelling, I feel like is a thing that the games do. Not all games, but that's the thing that like hooked me on that, and I get inspired from that kind of stuff to the point of like wanting to create my own games or things that have game elements to them. So like this creative project I just did, I was inspired. I was just like, hey, I really like these games, and I want to like have some visual representation of some of my favorite games that like there's not a lot of artwork or things. There's random fan art, which is of various quality around, but I'm like, I just want to make some like a cool set of posters about my favorite like video games, and so that kind of inspired this random like side project. But I think that kind of stems from like most of my creative things. Like I have a game design document for a video game I wanted to make for a long time, and then that kind of led into wanting to create a board game in that world because I like board games as well. And that led to writing a story in that world, which then like all these things kind of originated, I think, from games and game ideas. But so many of the things I want to create are all fantasy related. And if they're not about games, they're kind of like have a gamey feel. Even like how I have this like this book about Wally the Waffle. There's like a fantasy dungeon and he finds like a magic fork with different abilities, and like that's a general fantasy element, but like there's a lot of gamey pieces to it of like when I'm writing this and like designing it.
You're a gamer.
I'm a gamer, man. Yeah.
You can't. That's just inherent.
That's true. Well, what about you, Ralph? What are like some of either your biggest like things of inspiration, or like what like first inspired you to do like digital painting and illustration? Or
I know the exact answer to that question.
Perfect.
But before, you just sparked something that made me think.
Did I inspire you?
You triggered my brain to think. I don't know.
Is that a hard thing to do usually?
Yes. I have too much brain rot. Too much. No, but I was just thinking like, I wonder what it is because everybody experiences creative works throughout their life. Everybody watches movies, a lot of people play games, a lot of people read books, whatever. Their brain is stimulated in some way. And then but a lot of people, most people, it's actually something I take for granted, but like most people don't go from that point and say, "Oh, I've got to create something now." Right? They just kind of experience the thing and then go play sports
They
or
experience
go
the thing, they like the
whatever they're
thing.
doing,
Yeah.
whatever other people do, which
Sports
is
ball games.
sure, whatever. I mean, yeah, but for me, it really it always has inspired me to do something with that, like
Hmm.
make my own thing. Like when I was super young, one of my earliest forms of inspiration that I can recall is actually Star Wars. My parents liked Star Wars, and it was relatively kid friendly. So like we watched the original trilogy, which they're still good,
Yeah.
honestly. But that inspired me as a kid. I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life, and I went and I would play pretend like Star Wars,
Yeah.
but I would do it. I would like invent my own spin-off
Huh.
stories around Star Wars or whatever. It wasn't good enough to just watch the thing. I had to like live it. I had to
Yeah.
experience it and make something of it. It's always kind of been that way. So that was just a thought I had. I wonder what makes somebody geared that way. But
I don't think you've ever told me that before. I think in all of our conversations about creative things, I don't think you've ever mentioned Star Wars being like one of the earliest
it was, and
like
the reason
things.
I don't bring it up is because it was so early. Like,
Sure, yeah, yeah.
but it was formative for me. I grew an appreciation for like things that I didn't even realize
Hmm.
when I was that age.
Yeah.
Like production, really sick sound effects that I had never heard before. Like really awesome, like adventure, like explosions. The design of the like uniforms and the design of the original Star Wars is definitely iconic,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like
sure.
you've got the black and white stormtroopers, the Empire's logo versus the Rebels logo.
Mm-hmm.
They have different color palettes, good versus evil, red, Sith, blue, whatever.
The red
Or
lightsabers
Luke had
versus
green,
the
right? But
yeah.
um, all of those things were so iconic. You have a bunch of aliens that are very memorable. You have the droids, all of the stuff that went into that. It's insane. So it really triggered a lot of inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the moment for me when I decided, you know what, I'm going to be creative.
Yeah.
I actually have a moment where I decided that. Like it was like an on-off switch. I was
Hmm.
like, I'm gonna do it no matter what. And it was when because I was always been geared towards computers as well, like nerded out about computer technology or whatever. I was always obsessed with that. And video games was, of course, an outlet for that. You can play the game on a TV and it's fun. So I always had an appreciation for art, but I was always like, I'll never apply this because the idea of sitting in front of like a canvas and painting does not appeal to me. Or like sitting in front of a wheel and making pottery or I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
traditional art form you want to go with. But I discovered YouTube eventually, and I watched a bunch of videos, and eventually I stumbled upon, I'll never forget this moment, but I stumbled upon a video that was just called like character number 2 speed drawing. I've looked
Okay.
for this video since then, by the way, and I've never been able to find it.
Okay.
I would know it immediately if I saw it.
Yeah.
I've looked. I don't think it exists anymore.
Oh, man.
It's that like deep in the archives somewhere. Lost to time. But basically it was just a video of this guy recording his screen, which I didn't know you could do. And then I saw him with like it was Photoshop, I think, and it just showed him like drawing all of it. It was sped up, so
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
he just started drawing this thing and making it really cool looking. Like he was doing
Yeah.
stuff I had no idea you could do, like uh rendering it fully, adding like reflections in the eyes of the character,
Mm.
like all these like advanced techniques, and I had no idea you could do that on a computer or anything. Had
Yeah.
no clue. And when I saw that video and when I finished that video, I walked upstairs into the kitchen. My mind was just completely blown by what I just saw. And I said to myself, I think out loud, I was like, I'm going to learn how to do that. No matter what it takes. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to do it because I want to, because that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That's awesome.
And so, from there I learned that the way that this was possible was through the tablets, and
Right. Yeah.
you can use that in conjunction with Photoshop to like read pressure sensitivity and all that stuff, and then screen cap it. And, obviously all these things we take for granted today, but at the time I'd just never seen anything like that. I did not know that artwork was possible in a digital format, and that's kind of what made me pull the trigger.
Yeah. That sparked well, to continue just inspiring each other, that made me think of some of my earlier inspiration too. Like even before I would have considered myself like a creative, I guess. I don't know. One of my favorite things I always liked like drawing random stuff. And like I remember when I was really little, I'd draw. I think people did this all the time. But you draw like your dream house, and it's just like you start making like
Dude.
this as a slide connecting to like a bunch
Yeah.
of rooms, and then I would draw like spaceships and crazy things.
Dude, you set a trend for me where when you showed me the dream house thing that you made,
yeah,
I went and made one after
man,
that. I
that's
did
awesome.
that for real.
I think I
literally having like
for just
a
having
football field
flashbacks.
in your
Yeah.
house, like just
Yeah.
rooms that are the most absurd thing.
And it's like I think I did one time where it was like the whole house was like on wheels, and it's just this like giant mobile. I don't even know what you would call it because it's so massive.
Yeah.
It's just like anything you would think of. I'm like, oh, let's do a room with that in it. I don't know. But I would
Same
draw
house.
random things like that. But the thing that like I love doing the most, and I just have like vivid memories of, we had these like old like notepads. My mom was like taking college classes nearby, and she had these like notepads with like the branding of the college. And so I remember like using those and just drawing on those. I don't know why I did it on those and not just like regular paper, but I loved like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and like fantasy games and different things like that. And so I took inspiration from those, and I would draw like the swords from there. And I would start making up my own, and like I would start drawing all these different like, oh, it's a leaf sword and like a fire sword and a rock sword. And I started drawing like all these like, I would have a whole page of like swords of like various things, and then I would do like, oh, like all the things from Zelda. That was like my biggest inspiration to start drawing things. I'd do like the items. I'd be like, okay, here's a bomb, like
Yeah.
the bomb flower, and then I'm like, just make all kinds of versions of bombs, and then like the boomerang, and do that too. And I remember like always loving like the items from those games, and just like the different things you could unlock and like collect, and to the point where it inspired me to start drawing my own, which I think was like super fun. And so that kind of still is how I operate, I guess, a little bit, where there's like, I'm making these posters with elements from the games that I liked, and like pulling in the items and the things and like stuff too. It's just like a more advanced version of what I did, like growing up. But and we're kind of getting low on time,
Right. Yeah.
and we
That's true.
have just been rambling, but I think it's still okay. So I guess with our last little bit here, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes. Let's talk about like, so we've talked about things that inspired us. Let's talk about like what are it's hard. I don't know. How do we talk about this? It's like, how do you give people advice on how to find inspiration? Because it's for us, it was so natural. It's just like, hey, this thing sparked an idea, or it inspired us to do this other thing related to it. Man, I guess how do you encourage inspiration? I expose yourself to more things. Try like reading like books you maybe wouldn't normally read. I don't know. These random ideas I have are like, try games, try movies, try things that you haven't seen or you don't normally see. See if that sparks something. Um, it's not really advice. It's literally just a random thought I had. But I mean, what do you think, Ralph? Like, how would you help someone find inspiration? Can you help someone find inspiration, or does it just have to be like a natural thing, like a natural occurrence?
I think you can share, like, I think you can introduce people to something that maybe they wouldn't have tried before through a recommendation, or literally showing them, just making them aware, spreading awareness of whatever it is you think is cool. That can happen. I think initial inspiration is probably something that does happen naturally and early on in life, most likely. Like if you're sitting here watching this or listening to this, you're probably inspired or have been inspired and are naturally inclined towards creative stuff.
True. Yeah.
You've already got that part. I think the part that is the hard part is not letting inspiration die. Not necessarily finding new inspiration, because if
Yeah.
you're inclined that way, you really do it's just about
You seek it out.
seeking it out and being intentional about it. But what it really becomes is not letting inspiration die out, like not letting life get you down or letting life get in the way to the point where you're never creative again. Um, like for instance, with example for myself and maybe you from the sounds of it too, work can get in the way. Work is necessary, you have to do it, but it it it, it becomes hard to have energy left to spend on the creative things that you really like. But I think it's important to dive back in anyways. Like let's say for instance, tonight I didn't have much energy left for this podcast, to be honest, but I was like, no, I should do it. I this is a commitment that I want to keep. I guess eventually you probably have to treat your creative ventures like that. Almost like you owe it to yourself to to exercise that part of your life, because it's very important. Being creative can it being creative looks different for everyone probably. Um but that's one of the best things you can do, because that's you exercising your very unique ability as a human being to kind of emulate creation, right?
Yeah.
So that's something we get to do, and we shouldn't take it for granted. You should.
And it ties back into things we have been talking about the last couple episodes too, of like finishing projects was, that whole conversation. And part of it was like, you're not always going to feel motivated. And, that ties in here too. Like, you're not always going to feel inspired, but like, you don't know when that inspiration will kick in.
Also, well, that reminds me of that's a good point, because it's not just about a sense of responsibility. I'm making it sound like work, but a lot
No,
of
I
it
think it's a good
is
point.
kind of what you said earlier. Literally ties into what you said earlier about playing Eastward. You didn't go into it with I'm going to get every achievement thing, like treating it like a chore. You just literally went and enjoyed the process of playing through it and just let it go. That would be a good way to treat inspiration and being creative, if you return to the kind of childlike frame of mind where you're not doing it to try and be better than anyone. You're doing it because you must do it, because you can't not do it, because you love doing it,
or
right?
doing it for the experience and not for the accomplishment.
Yeah, and for just how cool it is. Like you end up taking your own abilities for granted, and you're like, "Oh, this sucks because it's me doing it and because I'm used to seeing what I'm able to do and I'm bored." Uh, The defeat that mindset.
Yeah.
Work to look at it as, "No, this is still cool because, even if it's not the best thing, and even if no one thinks it's cool or whatever, it's still cool because I just did this because I just wanted to." I think returning to that kind of childlike frame of mind could
Yeah.
go quite a long way there because that's when we were naturally just inspired without thinking about it.
Well,
So,
yeah, like your original thing of like pretending Star Wars or like I'm drawing swords and like just these like random things. It's just like I just did a thing because I thought about it and I decided to do it. Like I didn't have to like plan this stuff. I feel like we get caught up in so many details and logistics, and
yeah.
like with the stuff with like the book that I'm working on, I'm like, oh well, I want it published, so I'm gonna set a random date of when I want it to be done by and work my way back, which means I need to have like the final illustrations done by here and like this done by here. But like, if I get caught up in those details and then in the timelines and like the specifics, and like there's something to be said about being consistent and finishing something, like getting like keeping myself accountable to actually work on it. But I feel like it could turn out as a better like end project and a better, it'd be more enjoyable as a creative outlet if I'm go into it and be like, okay, like I'm gonna draw another page and like figure out the scene, and like if I feel more inspired to do it, it'll turn out better than if I treat it as like another thing to check off the list. So like going into it to be like, hey, I'm gonna draw this scene not because I need to finish that page. I'm gonna draw this scene because I want to figure out what this world looks like, figure out who these characters are, and all that stuff too. So I think,
100%.
yeah,
And your kids might help with that because that's how they're looking at it,
right, man. And so many of my
right?
so many story ideas stem from my kids because they they make me tell them stories about Wally and his world. They're like, tell me a Wally story, and like sometimes I'm like, I'm so tired. They're like, please. Okay, fine. And so I like make up some story on the spot, and like then I have them contribute to. I'm like, okay, like where are they going this time? And they like come up, make up some random place that's related to food. And I'm like, okay, great. And like that kind of then sparks like, okay, this is a place. What kind of uh shenanigans could they get into there? And then like when stuff happens in the story, all right, what is Tiny, the magic shape-shifting fork, what does he turn into? And then they like say some random object. And so it's kind of like bouncing it off like back and forth to like come up with the idea and the story. Which that is going to be my closing thought from my thing is, if you're having trouble with inspiration or you're stuck on a project, is to brainstorm with someone else, bounce ideas off each other.
Good idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just like a way that you can get outside of your own head, get someone else's ideas, even if their ideas are garbage. Maybe it'll spark something in you, that like they say something that sparks a different idea. You never know. You never know where it's going to come from. So
Yes.
anyway,
Truth.
any last things from you?
No, nope. I agree. I'm kind of, that's sort of the same train of thought on my end. Uh, Kind of returning to when your brain was less cluttered, maybe, and you had more room to explore all these ideas. Prioritize. Don't let the kind of harder parts of life become the only thing you
Yeah,
uh that consumes your thoughts, which is so funny me saying this, honestly, because I am the type of person who just agonizes over like the worst things.
maybe it's a reminder for yourself to like try to find that creative outlet, find a way find a way to like to get out of your own head and out of the doldrums of daily life. Anyway, Hope that was interesting, helpful, whatever. It's just, our sage advice over here. But thanks for sticking with us to get to the topic.
I
It
know.
was a long long on ramp.
A lot of
there.
preamble.
Hope you enjoyed the discussion. If you did enjoy it, keep listening to more episodes. You can find links to our socials and Discord, where we've been chatting. I've been chatting with Evan on there.
Evan, our biggest fan.
Our biggest fan. He made
Shout
fan
out.
art for our last podcast. I still have it, the picture of it.
Still waiting on the new fan art there, Evan.
yeah. For
If you could get to that whenever.
With draw a picture. Well, he did it for like the 100th episode, so we have to hit we have to hit a milestone first there. But
yeah, true.
Yeah, if you do want to chat with us, ask us questions, whatever, talk to anyone else. As we kind of build up this community, there's links to our Discord and everything on our website, which is seebeasts.com, seebeasts.com. And pretty soon we'll be official and have our Sea Beast merch store, which you can kind of get a preview for on there too. So that'll be our advertisements going forward.
Yes.
Really, we just made this merch store because I wanted to make a hat and get some mugs with our logo on it.
Yeah.
But we figured we'd just throw it up there if anyone else wanted it too. So,
just realized that this whole time I've been thinking like, why I'm brighter than usual. Why is that this whole time? And it's because I have this one screen,
just a big white,
and it's been opened to like a very white UI this whole time. I don't know why I didn't connect the dots, but here, if I like move it to the usual thing, it's like,
okay. Let's go ahead and just start over now. From the beginning
through the whole thing.
So, no, thanks everyone for hanging out with us. Yeah, it's fun doing the podcast. I hope you guys enjoy listening to it too. So, thanks again for being here, and we'll see you all next time.
Yes. Thank you all.
Bye.